They hate what I do, they hate what I speak, they hate that I'm milling, they hate that I meet, they hate how I slide when I march to the streets, they stand for my brothers who die in the streets, I move like a king.
If it's not the white man, then tell me who it is. Is it the Arab? Nope. Peter that we mad. But the end of the day is because we all agree with white supremacy. You're the judge of the earth, because you are the Israelites. You're the sons of the living God.
Now we're supreme, I'm shutting it down when we step on the scene. I'm really the king, I'm royal supreme, I'm shutting it down when we step on the scene. See, they hate what I do and hate what I speak. Shaking the hand and crying aloud while they read.
Pick it out. You made mention because they're in power, right? There's another people in power that dictate your frame of thought. We think we have our own thoughts, but guess what? They're the ones who run the music industry. They're the ones who run the television stations, the movie industry. So you say Illuminati. God says it's Esau, which is the so-called white man.
That's right.
They run everything, and then they dictate your thoughts.
Right.
You think your thoughts are yours? No. Let's read that.
Job chapter 9 verse 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked.
So who's running the earth? What are their names?
The wicked.
God says the wicked run the earth. So I'll ask you, which people run the earth? Is it the black man? No. Right now. Who? The white man. You say the white man. Well, let's see what God calls him. Read it again.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
So who controls every facet of the earth? Which is who? The white man. It's that simple. So our thoughts are not our thoughts. That's why nobody argues about that image. Nobody argues because who put it in place? The ones that are in power, who God calls the wicked.
That's right.
They are the wicked, and they have power to do what? Read.
He covered the faces of the judges thereof.
God says they cover the faces of the judges. Because guess what? Here's what you don't know. I'm looking at the judges of the earth.
Right.
You're the judge of the earth.
Yes.
You're the judge of the earth. You're the judge of the earth because you are the Israelites.
Yes.
You're the sons of the living God.
Right.
And God set you up to judge the earth. But guess what? We don't do it. We give ourselves to drugs. We give ourselves to violence. We give ourselves to whoremongering. Right. We don't want to judge the earth. So therefore, God's judgment is on us. So we have to judge the earth by doing. So we look. Read that again.
Job chapter 9 verse 24. The earth is given unto the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
If it's not the white man, then tell me who it is. Bring it out. Is it the Arab? No. If it is it the Chinese man? No. The wicked is talking about the white man.
Right.
So here's the thing. So he read it earlier, officer read it earlier, but go back to Leviticus 19. Leviticus 19:17, showing that we're supposed to be judging the earth.
Yes.
We are supposed to be doing it. They have nothing to do with the Bible, bro. Nothing. Read that.
Leviticus chapter 19 verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
Read the next part.
Verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge, nor
do what?
Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Now here's a way we can judge among each other. God says you can't hate your brother in your heart.
Right.
That's number one. So let's say, for instance, let's say he does something to you, hypothetically. You have to go to him not to get revenge, not to bear a grudge or do him any harm. Your job is to say, hey, listen, I'm going to deal with you according to what God said.
Right.
God says you can't do this, you can't commit adultery, you can't steal. You stole from me, you can't steal according to the word of God. You're supposed to deal with him according to the word of God. And say, you know what? I didn't know I stole that from you. You know what? I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to give you double what I took from you. I apologize so that you can win your brother over instead of making another enemy. You see how we can judge among each other? God gave us those laws to judge among each other. But you know what we say? Nah, we don't want that. So now God is judging the hell out of our people. You don't see our communities? You don't see how we suffer as a people? Aren't you tired of suffering? Are you tired of suffering? So what you going to do to change it? What are you going to do to change it? Give me the Isaiah 42:21 about prison houses. What are we going to do? Are we going to continue in the same cycle? What are we going to do, bro? I want y'all to tell us, what is the solution? He says, join the church. My man says, change your way of living. But if you have a certain, Isaiah 42:21, if you, let's say for instance, change it according to what? Everybody changes, right? Women go out and change their hair color every damn week. So tell me. Okay. Hey, hold on one second. What I got you? Isaiah 40? 22. Read that real quick.
Isaiah chapter 42, verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses.
Prison houses. A curse is the children of Israel were going to be held in prison houses. What group of people fills the prisons most?
No.
What people are in prison the most?
Oh, black people.
Oh, really?
My brother just got out.
Your brother just got out. So that's my question. What are we going to do to stop that cycle? Because God says one of the judgments is we're gonna remain in prison. You have to change yourself. That goes right back to what you said. Give me Romans 12:2. So y'all are both right now. You have to change yourself, but the question is, change according to what? Huh? Change according to what? If you go home and put on a red outfit, you change. It's not just 10. Go back to the commandments of God.
Right.
100% right. I like that. You got to change according to the commandments of God.
Right.
Guess what? God says you can't eat pork.
No.
You gonna change? You see how that is? Give me that in 1 John about the laws ain't grievous. What's that? 1 John 5:3. I'm gonna show you something. So we just named one commandment, and he was like, "Oh, that was too hard for me." You know why I said that? Because in the South, pork is king.
Right.
Pork is king in the South.
Right.
Read that.
1 John chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
His commandments are not grievous. You know why it's not hard to stop eating pork? Because all you got to do is don't eat it. Just don't go past that. I want you to understand. We talk about you because you may mention a way to change is how you think, what you eat. I think you said that. What you eat, right? So give me Leviticus chapter 11. Don't lose that first. I know I got you holding like 5 scriptures. You be all right. Let me get that in Leviticus chapter 11 to show you, because what you said about what you eat, God says you have to change what you eat. That's what God says.
Yes.
So now if y'all want to stop the cycle, you have to change according to what God says.
Right.
It's really just that simple. Leviticus 11:7.
Leviticus chapter 11, verse 7. And the swine.
What's a swine? Did you know that? Swine is a pig.
That's right.
You know what a pig is, right? So a swine, God is talking about the pig right now. Read.
And the swine, though he divideth the hoof.
Though he has that little V in his hoof, right? So you know it's talking about the pig, right? Go ahead.
And be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud.
So the way he eats food or grass is not the same way like a cow, a sheep, a deer. Those are clean animals according to God. They process that grass and wheat differently than the way a pig would. So God says, though you see the pig, he has that hoof foot. Go ahead.
He cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you.
What does God say about the pig?
He is unclean to you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat.
Hold on a second. So we just read the laws of God are not grievous. It shouldn't be hard. God says the flesh of that pig, you better not eat it.
Right.
You see how simple it is? So you want to stop the cycle. You want to stop the cycle. We want to stop the cycle. Guess what we all have to do? We have to change.
Right.
According to what God said.
That's right.
God says don't eat that pig. Don't eat it. If you want to please God, you want to please God? You want to please God? You'll stop eating pork immediately.
That's right.
just gonna stop there. You said change the way you eat. That's just one thing, right? Go to verse 9.
Leviticus chapter 11, verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters.
So now it's dealing with sisters. Come on back, sis. Sister Boo here. Come on back. Come on. You got to hear this word is what you got to do.
That's right.
Everything else can wait. Everything on this earth is secondary when it comes to God.
Right.
God should be primary in our lives. But we always push him to the back burner, and we wonder why our communities look like the damn back burner. We wonder because we keep pushing God to the back, so God push us to the back. Read that.
These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters.
God says everything that's in the water, of all the animals in the water, this is what you can eat. Read.
Whatsoever have fins and scales in the
No
water.
question. You eat catfish? You eat shrimp? Lobster? Right? So God says, here's the things in the water you can eat. If it has what?
Whatsoever have fins and scales.
So what you can eat in the water must have fins and scales.
Right.
Now here's the thing about catfish. Catfish has fins, but it does not have scales. It's slimy as hell, right? So question, according to what God says, fins and scales, can you eat catfish? You can't eat catfish. You see how simple that is? Can you eat shrimp? Does it have fins and scales? You said hard shell. Is that what it said? Let's read it again. He said, yeah, hard shell. Let's see what it said.
Whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters.
What animal in the water has fins and scales? Fish. Is a shrimp a fish? Is a shrimp a fish? It's not. You understand that, young man? So can we eat shrimp? No. Can we eat catfish? No. Can we eat lobster? No. Can we eat crab? No. Can we eat mussels and give me some more? Octopus, squid. Oh, look, he said, ugh. Well, we do that about shrimp. We do that about crawfish. We do that about crab. Why? Because God says what? Read.
Whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. And all that have not fins and scales.
Everything that does not have fins and scales, which is everything that we just mentioned.
Right.
Go ahead.
In the seas, in the rivers, and in the rivers of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the water.
Every little living thing that's in the water. That's those conchs, those oysters,
Right.
Every living thing in the water. Because people eat it all, bro. They eat everything in the water. But God says you're limited by what you can eat in the river, in the lake, in the ocean. You're limited to what you can eat. You can only eat the best of the best in the river. And the best of the best is the things with fins and scales. Everything else is trash according to God. Everything else in the ocean serves a purpose. That's why the ocean is polluted. Because you're eating all the garbage disposals out of the earth. Guess what? The crab, the shrimp, the lobster, they eat all the dead things in the bottom of the earth, of the ocean. That's why God says don't eat it. The pig does the same thing. That's why God says don't eat it. The vultures do the same thing. That's why God says don't eat it. Read.
They shall be an abomination unto you.
What does God say about shrimp, crab, lobster, shellfish?
They shall be an abomination unto you.
God says it's a disgusting thing that he hates. Say that again? It does. Now, when you eat shrimp, crab, and lobster, that's why blacks got the highest cholesterol level. It has more cholesterol than anything else in the ocean. But the white man, this guy right here, told you it's a delicacy. So Negroes feel fancy when they go to Red Lobster. They say, oh boy, I done got a little extra in my check. Look at him. He say, he know he did that. This brother, he thought you was eating good. So God says you're eating an abomination. That's what God says. So if y'all want to change, give me that Romans 12. I think I called it, but we didn't read it. Romans 12, verse 2. So if y'all want to change your community, because brother right there in the back just walked up. We're talking about changing our community, right? We have to change according to what God says. God gives us laws that we must follow. He's not going to heal us as a people if we're not following his instructions. It's just that simple, right? Read that.
Romans chapter 12, verse 2. And be not conformed to this world.
Because this world popularized Red Lobster.
Right.
This world popularized what? Juicy crab. Give me them other crab spots. The seafood spot. That's all of that stuff, right? This Long John Silver. Guess what? God says those things that they sell are abominations. Always remember that, right? So God says don't be conformed to this world. Just because they put up the new Red Lobster down the way, and your lady might make you feel like you're taking her out to a nice dinner, let her know that all that lobster is an abomination to God. Because you know why we're so focused on you men? Because the women ain't gonna change until men change. They follow your lead. You are the natural born leaders in the earth, and it is your job to lead your households. I'm looking at the sons of the living God, and gods don't follow the masses. Gods are the leaders. You're supposed to be leading, a pillar in your community, an example to the people. You change, they all will change. And until you're ready to change, the community going to remain the same. Read that.
Romans chapter 12, verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
There's a change that has to happen. A transformation has to happen. Guess what? They popularized Young Thug. They popularized Pooh Shiesty. All of this stuff that gives us a negative impact in our community, right? So where is the young men like yourself, the young men like yourself that's going to say, you know what? All that music is talking about me killing my people. All that drill music is just kill music for me to kill my people. Who is going to change their mindset and say, I'm going to transform my mind? I'm going to change according to what God says. Who's the one that's going to do that? Because I'm looking at older brothers. How you doing, brother? I'm looking at older brothers. You don't think these younger brothers are looking to y'all to see what y'all going to do? Younger men look to older men for guidance. But older men have said, you know what? Fend for yourselves. And then get mad when they break into your car. Get mad when you catch them busting into your windows in your house. You let them fend for themselves. So they're getting by as best as they can. So the men have to change. Then the community will change. Let's read that again.
Romans chapter 12, verse 2. Be not conformed to this world.
This world has taught us that Jesus is white, with no scriptural proof, right? They've told us that we are less than, that we're monkeys, we're porch monkeys, they used to examine our skulls. They used to examine our skulls and say that we're inferior, things of that nature. But they don't know you're the son of the living God, man. Greater than they ever made you to believe. Hold that real quick. Give me Deuteronomy 7 verse 6. One of my favorite scriptures. My absolute favorite scripture. I'm going to read my favorite scripture to you. Alright? I'm going to read it to you too. I'm going to read it to you too. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
There is no equality in the Bible. So God says, don't conform to this world because you're greater than them. Why are we trying to conform with people that he created less than you? That means you're dumbing yourself down. You understand that? God gave you a law, thou shalt not kill, right? If you kill, you're doing like the other nations want you to do. You're filling the prison houses because they make profit off the prison houses. We don't own stock in prisons. We don't own the ramen noodles that they sell in prisons. We don't own the Newports that they sell in prison for $15 for a carton. We don't own that. But we are making them billions of dollars by conforming to their way. No, we should always be God's way. God says you're greater than everybody. God says you're greater than everybody on the planet. God says you're greater than everybody on the planet. There's no nation that can compare to you. The Arab moves into your neighborhood, opens up stores. The Chinese move into your neighborhood, open up stores. Meanwhile, you got to go and beg them for jobs. If you ever knew how great you were, they would be working for you. Because when the kingdom comes, they will be working for you. That's what God says. Let God be true and every man a liar. Let God be true and every man a liar. God says they will be your servants, the same way you are their servants today. Read that again.
For thou art an holy people.
You know how holy you are? The laws that we got, the children of Israel, that's who we are. The laws that we have, nobody else got it. Let me give you an example. God says to keep the Sabbath holy. When is the Sabbath day? Do you know? But you've heard the term before, the Sabbath day, right? God says to keep it holy because we just read, thou art a holy people. So you are a holy people. God gave the holy people a day to be holy like he rested on that day as well. It's today. Today's the Sabbath day. It's not Sunday. Those pastors are liars, man. Hey, give me that Deuteronomy 32 and 39. Your enemies be found liars. 33:29. 33:29. Yep, right there. 33:29.
Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 29. Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee.
So God says it again. Remember, you're created above everybody else, right? God said again, who is like you? When you have, like for instance, you have the LeBron James of today. People try to compare others to him all the time, right? But then the argument comes back, who's really like him? You see what I'm saying? And then you got other sports, other arenas, other wise men. Like you have George Washington Carver. Like the amount of invention. Like who can really do that? You understand? There's nobody like us. We're the greatest minds, the greatest physical, the greatest communities known to man. That's why they keep destroying our communities, like Black Wall Street. You heard of that, right? You understand? You got to think about it. 60 years after slavery, we built an entire thriving city. And they burnt that sucker to the ground. You got to understand, it takes some brilliant minds to put a bus system together. Post office, salons, hotels, travel service, houses. We're not talking about a corner store. We're talking about entire cities. How can that happen? Because God says nobody can compare to you. It took them 200 years to build America. 200 years. But so-called blacks, fresh out of slavery, built it's called a metropolis. They built it in 60 years after slavery. That means they saved up the money, they got all the resources, bought all the supplies, and built a thriving city. I want y'all to really think about that. That's your ancestors. God says nobody can compare to you. Read that.
Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by the Lord.
This people, Israel, is saved by the Lord. Not all people. He ain't coming back to save. Christ ain't coming back to save everybody. He might have taught you that in the same church that gave you that white Jesus, but that's not the case. Read.
The shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency, and thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee.
God says our enemies are going to be found liars. So though they told us we were less than, though they told us we are porch monkeys and niggas and spicks and jigaboos, God says you're actually greater than them. So
we used to scream black power while heroin was pushed, but at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.